Hey world, welcome back to my second episode of this series. I'm Monica with Weekend Warrior TX, and you'll also be seeing a lot of my very camera-shy husband, Colt. In case you missed episode 1, I scored us a 9-day trip to Europe by using some money-saving apps, and after a 9-hour flight, which included a stop in London, we finally landed in Ireland for Colt's birthday. There's the birthday boy! The best part, though, is that it only cost me $1,500 for each of us, and that includes our flights, a rental car, and all of our hotels. Welcome home, baby. I also can't believe that we managed to save even more money by strictly packing in a carry-on and backpack each. For more on that, head to episode 1, and if you're ready to hop off the flight and take a tour of Ireland with us, keep watching, because as I mentioned, this package includes a rental car, and we just got a full tank. We just got our car successfully, and we're driving on the wrong side of the road, and it feels so crazy. Is this right?
Baby, you're supposed to tell me where to go.
Okay, so as you can already tell, I'm not the best co-pilot, but someone's got to do the filming, and let's be real here. Colt was more confident than I am driving in my own country, so I wasn't worried at all. After an hour drive from the Dublin airport, we finally made it to the Hoban Hotel in Kilkenny, Ireland. It was the perfect place to work on our itinerary and lay our head down for a much-needed refresh. We knew we had a long week ahead, so we decided to keep it low-key, and we went to dinner at our hotel's restaurant. Happy birthday to you.
No.
Happy birthday to you.
No.
I already did my confessional about how we have jet lag. You guys, we are in Ireland. I'm looking out the window right now. We're in Kilkenny. But jet lag is so real. I mean, we slept for like 12 hours and I just still feel so horrible. But we are up and we're gonna go see a castle today. So we will keep you updated. Tell everybody how you feel about being here.
It feels good to be here. It feels like Central America, Farm America. That's what it feels like with accents. The jet lag is brutal. They don't have air conditioning over here. Please send help.
Once we pulled it together, we took the car for our first real excursion. I wish I could give you guys some better content and say that we had no idea what we were doing on the road, but Colt handled all of the roundabouts like a pro.
In 3/4 of a mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit on.
We decided to stay close and found ourselves in the center of Kilkenny. I'd read about a castle nearby, and there was no way I was going to miss my first opportunity to visit a real-life castle. So after staring at our Google Maps for way too long and roaming the cobblestone streets, we ran into what was probably Kilkenny's proudest local. He schooled and literally quizzed us on the history of the town and was also kind enough to show us the way to the magical castle of Kilkenny. Oh, we found the castle! This is the Kilkenny castle that we're walking up to right now. Beautiful baby. The Kilkenny Castle was built in 1195 and overlooks the River Nore. Inside was just like a scene from a Victorian movie. We got to walk the hallways, soak in the history, and imagine how royalty lived in the 13th century, which wasn't hard at all because the castle was fully decorated with both original and refabricated furnishings. Check out this original wallpaper. Wow. As for the history of the castle, let's be honest, that's not really my specialty, so here is a brief lesson from my one and only. And we just found out that this castle
Belonged to the Butlers, and
your family.
the Butlers were all related in a very prominent family here in Ireland. And they were originally servants. That's where their name, Butler, came from. And when the war happened and the king had to escape UK and the parliament took over for a little while, they stayed loyal to the king, and so when the king came back and the monarchy took back over, he rewarded them with this castle and made them dukes and duchesses.
And so on your ancestry, you found some Butler, right?
Yeah, it's on my mom's side.
You guys are royalty.
I don't think I think it's just a name.
Leave it to my husband to kill my dreams, and maybe he isn't royalty, but it was nice to imagine him and his ancestors being part of this beautiful castle that was functioning for over 800 years. We just finished touring Kilkenny Castle, and it was freaking beautiful. It was the best time. I don't know about you, but all that history made us extra hungry, so we walked back to Kilkenny's iconic centre to visit one of Ireland's oldest and most iconic inns, now turned pub. You guys, the beauty of the World Wide Web is being able to see the world from your computer. I did a lot of research before our trip, and so I was extra prepared to soak this place in. So, where are we going?
We're going downstairs to the original part where the witch lived.
Kyteler's Inn was originally established by the first convicted witch in Ireland. Her name was Alice Kyteler, and throughout her life, Alice had 4 husbands, all who died suddenly after only a few years of marriage. So naturally, her town considered her a witch, and they accused her of poisoning her husbands to death. Alice was set to be burned alive at the Kilkenny witchcraft trials. However, you won't believe it, but the witch escaped. She disappeared to England before the trials ever took place. Her maid, though, was tortured, whipped, and burned at the stake. It's a super crazy story, and what an unreal place to be in. So if you want to read more about it, just search for Kyteler's Inn and read up on some of the interesting articles out there. So after dinner, we really didn't have many options, so we decided just to walk the beautiful streets, simply because all the downtown shops close early. Everything closes at 6 o'clock. So I feel a little ashamed to even say this next part, but as Americans, it was our duty, and truly I was just getting hangry when everything was closed. So I made my husband drive me to McDonald's for a midnight snack. We definitely didn't hide the fact that we had no idea what we were doing and that we were indeed Americans in need of our McDonald's fix.
Where's the menu?
You're supposed to look at it.
Oh, we were supposed to look back there.
Number one.
Hi, hello. What do you think the number 1 is? Because it may be different here. What's the number 1 here? I'm sorry, we're from America. We don't know if it's the same.
Oh, you don't. We don't. We don't. I actually have to make clear we don't do like number 1s or anything like that. It's just meals and stuff. I won't even know what a number 1 is.
Do y'all have Happy Meals?
Yeah, we have Happy Meals. Yeah.
Yeah, get me one of those, a burger.
Give me the cheeseburger Happy Meal. Sprite? Do y'all have Sprite?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, that'll be it.
That's everything, is it?
Yes.
No matter what. That is going to be $4.65 then. That's next window.
All right, thank you.
Thanks very much.
They don't even have number 1s here.
I feel like I'm I naturally want to like have an Irish accent. I'm cold in Ireland.
Oh, yeah?
Doing well. Doing well.
65 when ready.
All right.
Second, I can get you to sign there in the
Okay. All right. Y'all can sign for us.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
No, you have to sign.
Have a great night.
You
don't
too.
have to sign.
Up here.
Oh.
You didn't hear it? It's hard to understand sometimes. I feel like you have a harder time understanding.
I
than
do.
me.
I do.
You think that's because of my Irish heritage?
Probably.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Guess I don't need to sign?
Well, we never got anything to sign, but at least I was full and happy for the night with my kids' meal. The next morning, it was time to check out of our hotel, and we decided to walk across the parking lot to a cafe called Muebles, which means furniture in Spanish. It was sort of like a very small scale and more contemporary IKEA, because you could shop for your staple furniture pieces, but then take a break at their lovely cafe upstairs. a little Irish brunch. Coco Loco smoothie. Fresh squeezed orange juice. So look what we found in Ireland. There is Circle K's everywhere. Crazy, huh? I haven't seen a Circle K in a while in Texas. Going in. After brunch, we took a 40-minute drive to Waterford, Ireland. I had read about it online, and since we had a few hours to spare before checking into our bed and breakfast, we decided to spend that time in this old Viking port town. We just got to Waterford, Ireland. It's a Viking port town. We read about it. It was about a 40-minute drive from Kilkenny, where we just checked out of our hotel. Waterford is Ireland's oldest city, and you've probably heard of it before because it's where crystal and stemware comes from. To learn more about the history of this town, we went into the Medieval Museum. We got to tour the 13th century wine vaults and see artifacts from the 15th and 17th century, including the only surviving piece of clothing worn by Henry VIII. It was approaching our check-in time and we had a bit of a drive, so we had a bathroom break. They have back cushions, okay? And then took some photo fails and some wins, then hit the countryside roads to the outskirts of Dublin. As part of the package, we got a 4-night stay and a bed and breakfast of our choice. But we wanted to spend some time exploring Holland as well, so we chose to only stay for a couple of nights. Do you like my cool shades?
Yeah.
Thanks. The drive from Waterford to the Kilkenny house was almost a 2-hour drive, and so we entertained ourselves by reminiscing on some unexpected people we met. By the way, we met a Trump supporter here in Ireland, there in the middle of downtown Kilkenny. He was America's #1 fan. Yeah. What was his name? I forget.
I forget too.
Yeah, he was really for America.
On the China and the Canadian-Mexican trade agreement.
I'm gonna turn this camera off before it starts getting into Fox News. Okay, bye.
Continue straight.
Yeah, so we learned pretty quick that car rides in Ireland can get to be pretty interesting. Not only that, but the further we got into the country, the more the roads started disappearing. We're headed to our bed and breakfast in the outskirts of Dublin. These streets are very tiny, so when cars are passing by, it's so scary.
Oh shit!
It's a big... They're like driving in the middle of the street. We have arrived. We just made it to our bed and breakfast. Look at this amazing guy right here. He's a pro driver, and I could not make this trip without him. That's it for now, but if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button to stay updated on episode 3. It's going to be the second part of this episode, and we're taking you inside our beautiful bed and breakfast and their working farm. Thanks so much for taking this trip with us. We'll see you down the road. There comes Cole. Baby, I'm in the pod. Dude, I was trying to tell you.